Hi, everybody. I'm Randy. This is the Literate Texan. It's my YouTube channel where we talk about literature, highbrow literature, lowbrow literature, everything in between. You know, my motto is we're not really snooty here, even though we do try to have taste. This video is my announcement for a reading event in November called Dr. No-vember or Dr. No-vember. If you're familiar with the James Bond franchise, you'll get the little joke there. It's an event that was created by my friend Mark from Book Time with Elvis, and it's a real simple event. It doesn't have a lot of weekly prompts. There's nothing complicated about it. You're just encouraged to read some spy fiction or nonfiction, but yeah, spy stuff. So and you can read one book in the spy genre, and you'll have your little merit badge for participating in Dr. No-vember. We are doing a group read this year of Graham Greene's novel, The Quiet American, which is one of my favorites. It's also really, really short, but it's really, really wonderful. And personally, this is what I'm doing for Dr. No-vember. When I was so what a lot of you may or may not know about this channel and about my reading life over the last few years is I was diagnosed with cancer about 3 years ago. And so, I know I've got a limited time left to me. And what I was thinking was, what did I enjoy when I was younger? How do I enjoy the limited amount of time that I have left here the most? And one of the things that I enjoyed the most growing up was, as you might have guessed, is reading. And specifically, there are certain books that I read that I particularly love. The Lord of the Rings is a standout. But my public library had every James Bond novel from Ian Fleming and both short story collections from Ian Fleming, which I devoured as a teenager. I absolutely loved them. And so this year for Dr. No-vember, I'm going to relive and relove those glorious days of yesteryear where I read James Bond novels. And I got to tell you, reading the novels is a different experience from seeing the movies. I'm not a particular fan of the movies, but I really did enjoy the novels when I was younger. I'm hoping that's still the case. Ian Fleming wrote 14 James Bond books before his death, 12 novels and 2 short story collections. And I've got them all on the Kindle. I will say, when you're picking out editions of James Bond books, if that's what you're doing, try to get the ones that have not been Baudelarized. I don't think anybody should be reading Ian Fleming books unless they're actually reading what Ian Fleming wrote. I have all of my James Bond books as a side load on my Kindle. They've got these delicious vintage cover arts that I'm going to show you as I go through them. But I'm also going to I'm just going to tell you about the books, which ones I'm reading. The first Ian Fleming James Bond novel was Casino Royale in 1953. Bond, I've got notes here that I'm reading. Bond faces Le Chiffre, a Soviet paymaster whose financial ruin leads to a high-stakes Baccarat showdown. Okay, so Baccarat not being a game of skill, it was an interesting choice. When they made the movie not too long ago with Daniel Craig, I say it's not too long ago, but I guess it has been a while back, they changed it to a Texas Hold'em thing, which made sense because Texas Hold'em was really hot when they did the remake. Anyway, I've got the cover for Casino Royale here. Let me find it so I can show it to you. I think this is just gorgeous too. This is the longest of the James Bond books too, but there's the cover art that I have for it. So isn't that cool? All right, so number 2 is Live and Let Die, which came out in 1954. It came out the very next year, and I've got a cover art for it here too. Live and Let Die. This is another great cover. This is just gorgeous. Got a boat exploding there in the background and stuff. It's the James Bond on these covers sort of looks like all the James Bond actors and none of them at the same time. Live and Let Die. Bond pursues Mr. Big. That's a great name for a villain, right? He's a Harlem crime lord and SMERSH agent. SMERSH is one of the rival intelligence agencies, fictional, of course, but he's smuggling pirate treasure in this book. So, man, what teenager wasn't going to love that, right? I wasn't into the realistic John le Carré spy novels. I like the high class, or I'll say high class, but the more adventurous, Bond's going to wear a tuxedo before it's all over with kind of books. Number 3 was Moonraker, which is interesting to me because I think that was one of the movies that came later in the movie franchise. But I like this cover artwork a lot because it's got a rocket in the background. But then, yeah, there we go. You can see that. It's pretty cool looking. Moonraker, Bond uncovers Sir Hugo Drax. Great name for a villain. I love Bond's names for villains, even in the books. A war hero secretly plotting to annihilate London with a rocket. So that sounds cool. I think it got a little more science fiction-y in the movie because I think they wanted to capitalize on the success of Star Wars at the time. Diamonds Are Forever is the next one on my list. Published in 1956. Diamonds Are Forever. Man, you just had to mention diamonds in a classic movie title back in those days and people would watch it, wouldn't they? Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend, I think, was one of them. Where is it? Well, I must have it here. Diamonds Are Forever. There it is. Ooh, nice cover artwork here. Lurid red cover with this icy blonde on the cover. I love it. Yeah, so number 5 is, what's it about? Bond takes on the Spangled Mob, an American crime syndicate. And they're smuggling diamonds, of course. From Russia with Love is number 5 on the list. It's from 1957. Bond is targeted by Rosa Klebb and Red Graham, who are masterminds of Smersh, and there's a deadly honey trap involved in it. And that's From Russia with Love. I think that's said with irony about the From Russia with Love. I don't think they really love Bond. But here's the picture. These pictures are so great. I mean, this is just pure testosterone on the cover art of these. Number 6 is Dr. No, which is where the event takes its name from. Dr. No came out in 1958. Bond travels to Jamaica to confront the megalomaniac scientist Dr. Julius No, who plots to sabotage some U.S. rockets. So Dr. No, ooh, I love this cover artwork too. This is going to be a lot of fun. I haven't read these since I was a teenager, so I don't really remember them very well. But yeah, check out the green face on the villain on the cover art there. Isn't that cool? So number 7, Goldfinger, 1959. James Bond squares off against Arik Goldfinger, who's obsessed with smuggling and a scheme to rob Fort Knox. Yeah, that's a big plot line there. That's cool. Goldfinger. I think that's how they sang the theme song too. But I don't remember who that was that sang it. There it is, Goldfinger. Okay, now this cover, I'm not as excited about. Number 8, For Your Eyes Only from 1960. Another one where I remember the theme song. For Your Eyes Only. This is the first short story collection. All right, and it is the 8th book on our list. This came out in 1960. It's got 5 stories and multiple villains. Let's see, For Your Eyes Only. I don't know that these are in alphabetical order. I'm beginning to think maybe they're not. I don't know what order they're in. Golly whiz, what a lady on the cover there. She's what you might term a femme fatale, which would explain the picture of the skull that was next to her there. Did you see there was a picture of a skull next to her? Or were you just looking at the lady in the dress? Number 9, Thunderball, 1961. Thunderball was my favorite when I was a teenager. I do remember that. Thunderball. I remember they sent James Bond to a health spa at the beginning of it, and I thought that was cool. This is a weird kind of cover artwork, too, on this one. It's different. It's, well, I'll show you. A couple of bullet holes, and I don't know if that's leather or skin or what's on there, so it's odd. But, yeah, Thunderball was my favorite growing up. I know that. Bond races against time to stop Amelia Largo, who's a Spectre's number 2. I guess Spectre is taking the place of Smersh as the villainous organization in this one. Number 10 is The Spy Who Loved Me. Again, I'm thinking that this is ironic. I don't think this spy really loves anybody. This is actually told from a woman's perspective, so he's mixing things up here. So maybe she really is in love with James Bond. Maybe that's the idea. I haven't read it yet, so I don't know. Spy Who Loved Me, told from a woman's perspective. Bond rescues her from thugs, and there's some petty criminals, but they're under the auspice of Spectre. So, I guess, they're petty thugs that are getting in over their heads is what it sounds like to me. Number 11, on Her Majesty's Secret Service, 1963, Bond gets married to Tracy after battling Ernst Stavus Blofeld, who threatens the whole world with germ warfare. On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Where is it? There it is. Okay, another gorgeous cover. Wow. Lovely woman on the cover of this one. Ooh la la. Okay, number 12, You Only Live Twice from 1964. Oh, spoiler alert. Grieving Tracy's death, Bond hunts Blofeld in Japan, where the villain hides in a garden of death. Oh, I love the sound of that. Number 13 is The Man with the Golden Gun from 1965. Bond faces Francisco Scaramanga, a world-class assassin known for, of course, his golden gun. There's probably some symbolism there that's Freudian or something. I don't know. I'm not really good at Freudian stuff. I know that in Freudian theory, anything longer than it is wide is a phallic symbol, though. So what was the title of that one? The Man with the Golden Gun? I got myself distracted there. Sorry. Here's the artwork on this one. Okay, the Man with the Golden Gun. I don't like that cover either. They're not all winners. What can you do? And number 14, finally, Octopussy and the Living Daylights, 1966. Final short story collection, which includes Octopussy. Bond investigates Major Dexter Smythe, a traitor, and then other stories with assassins and defectors as villains. Okay, so that's the whole Bond oeuvre. I don't think I'm going to have any problem reading all of it. From what I remember, those books were pretty fast reads anyway. They're fairly short, pretty fast reads. But the group read is exciting too, and this will be my third or fourth time to read The Quiet American, which came out in 1955. So it's a book that came out around the same time as the Bond books. Graham Greene, it's a Vietnam novel. It's set in Vietnam, and it's about a cynical journalist, Thomas Fowler, who's played by Michael Caine in the movie version that I saw, and his idealistic young American friend, who's also an aid worker, Alden Pyle is his name, and he's played by Brendan Fraser in the movie version I saw. And they clash over politics, but they also clash over love. There's a love triangle going on there. So it's pretty good stuff, man. I was really, really impressed. The year that I read The Quiet American, which was 2 or 3 years ago, it was definitely in the top 3 or 4 books I read for the entire year there. But that's how my Dr. November is going to go. What are you going to read for Dr. November, if indeed you're going to participate in Dr. November? I want to know down in the comments. I'm going to list my co-hosts down here in the description, and I hope you'll participate in Dr. November with us. And you know what? Until my next video, do me a favor. Stay sexy, folks. Stay hydrated.